The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Good morning. Today is Friday, March 11th, 2022, and welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Excuse me. We have quite a bit of news to cover, and I am flying a little bit solo this morning. Shout out to Dr. Carl Mack, who honestly has held it down for us for the last 2 weeks as we covered Ukraine and the invasion of Ukraine by Vladimir Putin. And we make that distinction here on this show because we do know that there is a large volume of people inside of Russia who are standing against Vladimir Putin as much as they can. That said, Dr. Mack has been flying the helm, covering the bases for me while I was away. So I wanted to thank him. He's taking the day off, and he will not be with us next week because of travel and all of the other commitments that he has. But I do want to give him a good morning this morning. Later on the show, we'll be joined by the rest of the team. DJ Exclusive will be joining us. We'll also be joined by Rebecca Azor, Georgia Fort. The entire family will be here, minus Dr. Carl Mack, but that's okay. We will get started. I want to start with the situation in Ukraine just for a moment. From the perspective of the United States, Congress has passed a funding bill that includes aid for Ukraine. Now, this federal spending bill is going to be sufficient enough to keep the government open. And so at least at this time, every year this time, if you will just think of the cycle, every year around this time, we start having conversations about the government shutting down. And it looks like we'll not have that kabuki theater this time around. And that's good because we are facing, obviously, an existential crisis on the international stage. And I really mean that. We're facing a changing paradigm on the international stage. And it's one that we should be concerned about. And we're also faced with something else that I want to bring to our attention. Here in the United States, we are faced with a very real coup that is happening in real time. January 6th was not the end. January 6th was the beginning, quite literally. We spoke with Professor Adolph Reed, Professor Emeritus, and he honestly made it clear yesterday, along with several other guests, that what we saw on January 6th was merely a test run. The people who want to overthrow the government, they are not done yet. I hate to be so melodramatic this morning, but the fact remains is that there is a faction of people in the United States in power. We can name some. Matt Gaetz, hell, Donald Trump, the entire Trump faction of the Republican Party, including some that like to pretend that they aren't on his side. Kevin McCarthy likes to act as though he's a balanced actor. These people are so in line with Donald Trump and his white supremacy. They are so in line with it that they will align with Vladimir Putin. In fact, they have. David, if you could, I know I'm throwing an audible. We don't need it right now, but before the show is over, I want to play back the clip of Steve Bannon speaking with the founder of Blackwater. I believe that's the name of the secret police service, as they were discussing why Americans should support Vladimir Putin. I want to put the emphasis where it belongs. There is a faction of Americans in political, economic, and media power who are aligned with Vladimir Putin. And I will always make the distinction here on this show, on this network, between Russians and Vladimir Putin, because we're dealing with the ambitions of a man who thinks himself to be a strong man, who thinks himself to be a great man, despite having to use all of the authority. He's having to crack down on his own people, folks. Let's just keep it 100. Vladimir Putin is they're getting ready to cut off the entirety of the internet. Any outside internet to the entire country of Russia. And that's because his people are dissenting. The people in Russia are fighting back against Vladimir Putin, And so he has to crack down. 5,000 protesters were arrested the other day. And, with all due respect to one of our guests who did not feel like that was a lot of people, in Russia, 5,000 people being arrested in opposition to Vladimir Putin. That's 5,000 people whose lives are now at risk, right? And so we stand in solidarity with the Russian people who are opposing Vladimir Putin as well. We want to send our love. So I know that's a long tangent away from the congressional funding bill, but included in that funding bill is aid for Ukraine. Now, here's the situation. The United States of America is always ready to open up its pocketbooks when it comes to something associated with war. We created funding for Ukraine, which we should, for Afghanistan, for the refugees from Afghanistan, as we should have. But you would notice they never have money for the citizens of the United States of America. No. By all means, let's do the right thing as it pertains to the people of Ukraine, people who need aid and support. In fact, we should stretch the limit in terms of what we do. Let's push the envelope because we have a commitment on the international stage to protect the international order from the ambitions of this little tyrant by the name of Vladimir Putin. He thinks himself to be Ivan the Great. No. You're a little man with a big arsenal. That's all. That's simply all it is. You managed to put yourself into line of power in Russia, and you are manipulating the system to your own will. We get it. You are a powerful man, but that does not make you a great man. And even if it does, by the academic definition, not every great man by the academic definition is a good man, Vladimir Putin. And the people of Russia are speaking out. And if we can, we are going to there. We have a couple of connections that we're trying to connect there. If the internet is not cut off, we will be able to bring some voices, possibly. But there is a possibility that the internet is going to be cut off because Vladimir Putin is having to crack down on his own people. Now, juxtapose that to what's going on here in the United States. Excuse me. I want to bring up, let's go to the Florida House passing the bill to form election police force. This is happening in Florida right now. It was passed. We got a chance to speak to State Senator Chevin Jones from the state of Florida. And this particular bill that we're talking about passed afterwards. Now, it's important for us to understand what this bill is getting ready to do. It's going to create a commission, an office of election crimes, creating and changing rather the misdemeanor offense of gathering ballots, absentee ballots for your friends or colleagues, or there's a misdemeanor offense associated with that in the state of Florida that is going to be increased to a felony. Here's why this is important in context of everything else we've been talking about. It's literally important because the Republican Party is playing for keeps. They are going to do everything that they can to intimidate people out of voting, all the way to the point of if they can make your mistake a felony, they will absolutely send you to jail. It is a way of making you, of having a chilling effect, of discouraging you from participating in the voting process to begin with. That is the entire point of legislation like this. We do know for a fact that there is not any significant amount of voter fraud, right? We don't have from the people, from the ground level, we do not have substantial cases, no statistically significant cases of voters going to vote twice. It just doesn't happen. When we do find the rare occasion, it has been Republicans. Nevertheless, that hasn't stopped Republicans over the last, 10 years. The most recent or one of the first instances I recall of this voter suppression tactics being so bold was around 2004, when so many voters in the state of Florida were purged. And I was included in that batch way back in 2004. So they've been playing the voter purge and voter suppression game for some time. Well, now they're codifying their games into law with the force of penalty, the force of a felony penalty for making a mistake in this voting process. This is all a part of their multi-tiered strategy to take control of this government even further beyond than what they already have. This is the kicker. It's not as though the United States of America is not already serving these rich conservative white men. Can we just be real for a second? The people who stormed the gates on January 6th, the saying about the Roman Empire falling and the barbarians at the gate. The irony of it is that they were the barbarians at the gates of their own empire. All of those aggrieved, well-to-do white men, well-to-do enough to have the souped-up pickup trucks and take a whole vacation, probably slept at some pretty decent hotels and ate at all the buffets that they could eat at. They had enough money to go on this joyride of January 6th. So they were well-to-do enough because this country serves rich or well-to-do white men, conservative white men in particular. So how ridiculous is it that the very people who were storming the gates of the empire that serves them, well, that's the sentence, right? It's ridiculous. This empire serves, the United States of America serves the very men who thought that they had to overthrow it on January 6th. And those same people have been trying to suppress your vote at least since 2004. I mean, come on, like if we really root this in Black history, they never wanted us to vote to begin with. As a matter of fact, if we root this a little bit more in Black history, they never wanted us to be a whole person, to be counted towards the amount of white men who can vote. Okay, let's be very, very specific in terms of how this country viewed the Black vote. It has been a very long experiment in voter suppression. And now we're at the stage where the state of Florida is going to make it a felony in some cases with this commission, this intimidation commission. All of this is connected. All of this is 100% connected because while you have governors like Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida doing this, you also have congressional characters on the national stage in the halls of Congress who are actively supporting what Vladimir Putin is doing in Ukraine. It is a two-tiered effort that is going on in this country, on this planet right now. Vladimir Putin is trying to change the global order. We discussed yesterday with Dr. Karl Mack where Xi Jinping is and where China is in all this. And as it stands right now, it appears as if China is going to stand by and allow Vladimir Putin the opportunity to change the world order. Well, folks, listen, I need you to hear this very clearly. What happened in Ukraine is not impossible from happening in other countries. And don't think for a second that the people in power in this country love America so much that they will stand against Vladimir Putin. Quite the contrary. They have shown that they hate Blackness so much. They absolutely hate the idea of wokeness, which is a boogeyman of their own creation. You shouldn't be saying woke in the first place. White people saying woke is like anathema. Like, well, why? Just leave it alone. But they hate the idea of wokeness so much that they're literally willing to turn this government over, this country over to Vladimir Putin, as evidenced by Steve Bannon. David, if you can't find it, it's on my timeline from about 2 weeks ago before I disappeared. Steve Bannon, who was one of the chief advisors to Donald Trump. Donald Trump himself, forget it, Steve Bannon. Donald Trump himself supporting what's happening in Ukraine, what Vladimir Putin is doing, right? You have Republicans who are supporting it openly, saying that applauding him. This is what else you have. You also have a list of actors inside the United States of America who are undermining our democratic structure, who are preparing this nation to be controlled by the same type of firm authoritarian grip that Vladimir Putin has over Russia. Those people are in power right now. Those people have no regard whatsoever for this country. They only have a regard for their perceived grievance, because at the end of the day, do any of these people have it bad? Like let's be real. The people who could afford to go to January 6th. I'm not talking about Jimmy down at the car wash with you who's actually working out in those frigid temperatures. I'm not talking about, Jake who is throwing trash. I'm not talking about people who are in working conditions. I'm talking about those guys who had enough money and enough savings and enough gas to drive and joyride all the way to Washington, D.C. to cosplay as some type of revolutionaries trying to overthrow. I'm talking about those morons who quite honestly got it good in this country. They are so upset about not having everything that they ever dreamed of. Matter of fact, they're so upset that you have the nerve to want to have pronouns. I swear on everything, folks. Because you want to use pronouns, they, them. These people are ready to overthrow the government, and they have aligned with the global pan-reactionary movement that is being headed up by Vladimir Putin. I cannot stress this enough. It is not an isolated event. What is happening in Ukraine will replicate itself across the globe if we don't stop it right there, and if we don't stop these traitors who are in our temples right now. All right, we have a clip. This is the clip that I was discussing. David, let's run it.
And the reason that Putin ain't woke, he is anti-woke.
The Russians, people still know which bathroom to use.
They know how many genders are there in Russia?
2.
Okay. That's all of a sudden that's not they don't have the flags. They don't have the pride flags outside on their
They don't have boys swimming in girls' college swim meets.
How backward.
It's embarrassing.
How savage. How medieval. How medieval. This is why this whole thing's a scam. It's a total and complete scam. And here's the beauty of it.
I'm sorry. Are we really ready to turn over the United States of America to Vladimir Putin because of trans women? They need you to be so afraid of the LGBTQIA community, particularly the trans community, that you would be willing to serve Vladimir Putin. And again, I want to make the distinction because there's plenty of Black people who have been down with Russia for a very long time. Check out Paul Robeson. Like, we're not going to play into the McCarthyism of reducing Russia down to some kind of scary communist. Russia's not even communist. Let's get that right, right? Russia is authoritarian and it's very capitalistic. They are very greedy over there. They have the profit motive over there. They have billionaire oligarchs who happen to also be white nationalists. Okay, so I just want to make that distinction. But we're not doing the Red Scare McCarthyism that you would get in times before. But we have to be very clear about what is happening. And what is happening is that there is a fear that they need you to buy into. If they can make, I swear, it is this simple now. It's this simple now. If they can make you afraid of what bathroom a transgender person goes to, then they can get you to line with Vladimir Putin. Because that's what he just said in the clip. Don't take my word for it. Listen to it again. David, run the clip. Let's listen again.
And the reason that Putin ain't woke, he is anti-woke.
The Russians, people still know which bathroom to use.
They know how many genders are there in Russia?
2.
Okay. That's all of a sudden that's not they don't have the flags. They don't have the pride flags outside on their
They don't have boys swimming in girls' college swim meets.
How backward.
It's embarrassing.
How savage. How medieval. How medieval. This is why this whole thing's a scam. It's a total and complete scam. And here's the beauty of it.
All right, last thing before we move off of Ukraine and go to the next segment, we're going to go to a break. I want to point out that we do have the United States has troops not in Ukraine. I want to make sure we're clear. The United States did not deploy troops to Ukraine. The United States has rather sent troops to neighboring NATO countries. And the Biden administration is sending troops to NATO countries that neighbor Ukraine as retired soldiers volunteer to train Ukrainians on their own. So this just shows you the commitment, the amount of drive that the world is solidifying and unifying around the people of Ukraine. Let's take a listen into this clip.
This morning, American troops far from home, training in Latvia alongside NATO allies, the last frontier between Russia and the West. The battlefield scenarios these war games are simulating are entirely real. It's a little over 100 miles from here to the Russian border. When President Putin says that NATO's expansion into Eastern Europe threatens Russia, this is what he's talking about. But NATO says it's a defensive alliance and that these troops pose no threat. Last month, the U.S. sent an additional 7,000 U.S. troops to Europe to be ready to assist NATO's response force, activated for the first time in its history to defend NATO territory. Attention! The U.S. deployed about 800 troops to the Baltic nations of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania as Russia moved into Ukraine, plus Apache attack helicopters made in the U.S.
The Yanks are coming. Former U.S. soldiers are signing up to fight the Russian military. These Ukrainian resistance fighters are being trained by retired U.S. Army General Paul Gray from Tyler, Texas. He spoke with Inside Edition from a secret location in Ukraine. Sergeant Gray previously served in the legendary 101st Airborne.
Me and a platoon of Americans are trying to train as many Ukrainians as possible for combat operations, for guerrilla warfare, for insurgency. And we're trying to kill as many people that are trying to kill Ukrainians.
45-year-old Andrew Bennett, a carpenter from Bayonne, New Jersey, is also volunteering. Are you planning on jumping right into the fray? Are you planning on fighting?
I'm not going over there to play Rambo. I'm going over there because I'm able-bodied, I'm strong, I'm fit. I can carry people, I can drag people off the floor, I can bandage people up.
About 16,000 volunteers from the U.S. and other countries have already joined Ukraine's struggle for freedom. It's turning into an epic David versus Goliath war. It's claimed the Russians have lost 11,000 soldiers and 285 tanks so far. This is the moment a Russian helicopter was brought down by a Ukrainian missile. Thousands of civilians, mostly women and children, are fleeing the fighting under artillery fire.
Yeah, so, you know, as we get ready to go to break, Dave, we'll take it to a break and we'll come back with On the Clock. I just want to close with this. You got to be pretty crappy of an actor to make the United States. You guys are making this toxic part of America, you know, Ramboism. You guys are making that palatable again, Vladimir Putin. And we came out of an era where that entire tough macho Rambo guy thing was properly exercised out of the discourse. But I'm gonna be honest with you, because I know that if we don't stop Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, it is going to spread further. And because I know without a shadow of a doubt, we have traitors in our temples in Washington, D.C. Traitors who are willing to 100% align with Vladimir Putin. They're already in our media. Fox News is it's at the beckoning call of Vladimir Putin. Let's just be honest with you. Part of why we are where we are is because Tucker Carlson carried the Russian talking point all the way until it was too late. Because of that, I have to salute those fellas, everybody, those women and non-gender conforming individuals who are saying that they are willing to put themselves on the line. I don't suggest that anyone put your physical body on the line, but those who are, we salute you. David, let's take it to a break. When we come back, On the Clock, more of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show after this.
She wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby. Let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up. We finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy James Love Williams, DJ Exclusive is in the building. Shout out to everybody in the background, man. Shout out David and Dwayne. I'm sorry. David and Ben. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. On the Clock is starting next, y'all. Good morning, everybody.
I'm feeling like a man lately. it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road, but I get to the bag on the low. I be counting stacks while they grow, yeah, you know me. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down. When I come
Esther, good morning to you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
on try, baby, I think you should sign
Boondock
with me.
Dragon, good morning. What's going on, brother?
Just promise you never lie.
Anna Hart, good morning. Samantha Court, good morning to you.
Everything good, keep the vibes on.
Here, Hustler, what's going on? Lauren Strada, good morning.
No, it's all love. No, it's all love.
Y'all, good morning, y'all, again. Yep, I am feeling better. I can't see you stupid. Am I done being fast? I wish. Yeah, I'm feeling much better, y'all. Much better. I appreciate y'all so much, man, for checking in on me as well, too. This is one of them days I just wanted to lay in bed and not move, and that's exactly what I did.
Oh, it feels so good to take you off the pedestal. I don't know what I was thinking. Let it be more than drinking and going back to
Becky P, Mary C, good morning. Big Peace, good morning. Brenda, good morning to you. Jason Marks, Six Dragon Daddy, good morning. Juanita, good morning. Shout out to everybody, man. G-Man, what's going on? Matt, good morning, Matt. Letter hat. Good morning, Mom and Daddy. Love y'all, meet it.
How much you're messing with my feelings in my heart.
Lily, good morning to you.
I'm going back to the table. I know they saving us for the stable friend of mine. Cause they know
T-Tweety, what's going
I
on?
was out my mind, thinking you were the one that it was like.
Kyra G, good morning.
I should've known.
Matt, no, I did not. I was under a rock yesterday. So, okay. Never mind. I know what it is. I'm waiting. David, I think, said something, so I'm going to wait. David asked for me. Shoot the Dragon, good morning. Tiger, what's going on, brother? That's right. Patron party tonight. Patron party tonight. Y'all don't want to miss it, man. It's going to be a good one.
How much you're messing with my feelings in my heart.
Ron Foreman, I appreciate that. Good morning to you. David, I'm waiting. Look. Derek Fuller, good morning. Rachel Bentley, good morning.
Going back to your place, never to see you again. That was simply delusion, followed up with confusion. That was just substitution for your lonely bed. So
Oh, Booker, good morning. Wait, now y'all know I gotta go scroll and see. Oh, it's Truth the Dragon. What did the ghost teacher say to the class? Look at the board and I'll go through it again. Really? OMG. Amber Layla, good morning. Jago, good morning to you. Iris, what's going on?
How much you messing with? I gotta hit the beat. How much you messing with? I gotta hit the beat. How much you messing with? I gotta hit the beat. How much you messing with? I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the
Snack Panther, what's going on? So you going to hell?
beat. I got it. I got it. Pop that bottle, it's over. It's the end of October. Champagne on the shoulder. This is not kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin. All night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin.
Happy Friday again, everybody. Make sure that tonight you have your beautiful face in the place. You don't want to miss it. It is going to be one hell of a paper party, y'all.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat.
You drop this. Yeah.
Running right, good morning. Nick, what's going on? I appreciate you.
Limited edition of some missing classic shit. I know that you're feeling it. Feel mad, cold nights feel heavy. Same place going in the heart of the city. Nitty gritty feels iffy and the eyes feel shifty. The shit we're in, yo, it's all mad risky.
All night long, but the feeling keeps kicking in. Beef with
Listen, sissy, good morning. Yes, you can. It's Friday. You feel like you got the club all the time. That's what we do around here, you know.
Beef with all the girls, bullshit dripping off the chin.
Alicia, good morning. I hope you enjoyed your birthday, Alicia. All right, y'all. Now I think it is time. What I thought my paper party music. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to hit the beat and go to On the Clock with Georgia Floyd. Good morning, Georgia.
I gotta hit the beat.
Good morning. We are here in Minneapolis where teachers are on day 4 of their strike. And from our understanding, there has been a deadlock. There is just no budging on either side of this issue. Teachers remain committed to the demands that they're asking for, which are, of course, better wages, smaller class sizes, and more mental health support. Ben, we talked about this earlier this week, and you would think by now, with an entire week of the teachers striking and the students being at home, you'd think that there would be some progress. But at this point, it seems like things are deadlocked.
Right. And also with the surplus that I didn't know existed until you reported on it, Georgia, you would think that with the kind of surplus that the city has, that they would be able to find some kind of way of getting teachers what they need. Also, juxtapose that with the fact that we're always finding money to give more officers, give policing agencies more money across this country. This should not be this difficult for teachers to get what they need.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And, at this point, we've seen thousands of educators and folks supporting them take to the streets. They were in downtown Minneapolis yesterday, in front of the state capitol the day before, in front of the school district on the first day of the strike. And so they've been making their way through the city, largely because they don't have anything else to do. They're off for the day, but they've been accompanied by a community band that has gone along with them. And so the energy has been high. We even saw them get creative and turn a Purple Rain song by Prince into a theme song, including their letters MFT for the Minneapolis Teachers Federation. And so, or Federation of Teachers rather. So, the energy's been high, but they're not wavering. They are standing the line on what they're asking for. And there's been some criticism, obviously, from parents who are they're scattering, trying to figure out where to put their children during the day, right? But outside of that, I think most people have been very understanding. They've been very understanding. I want you guys to take a listen to this clip here. This is when they were in front of the state capitol and the energy was just so high. Everybody just really committed to the things that they're asking for. Take a listen.
MFT, MFT. I'm sorry, that's a guy. Y'all fighting for smaller class size. Y'all fighting for mental services and safe and stable schools. MFT, MFT. Yeah! If you just hold the line, if you be strong, stay in this fight. It's not given to the weak, but it's given to the strong. And you are strong, MFT. You are strong, MFT. You are strong. You are strong. Hold on. Hold on. Don't give up. No matter what they say, don't give up. Hold on. You will win.
Hold the line. Hold the line.
I am so proud of my colleagues. I'm so proud to be MFT. I'm so proud to be union strong. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing different. Ain't nobody gonna tell us we're not doing this for the right thing. Don't let nobody turn you around. Hold the line. Hold the line. When you leave here and you talk to your people about why we made the decision that we made, understand this. We voted to authorize a strike, and the only one that could have called it out ain't coming to the table correct. And until they come to the table correct, we are going to hold the line. Hold the line.
Wow.
You know, as you saw, a sea of teachers, educators out there, and Marsha Howard, who we heard from last, is one of the lead organizers at George Floyd Square. And so, you know, it's really powerful to see her in this capacity because she is an educator. She's been teaching for more than 2 decades, and more recently has become very well known for her work at George Floyd Square. But she's an educator. And so to see her lead on this issue also, she's just such a dynamic woman, and you know, the community really trusts her, supports her, and you know, you heard her there. Hold the line. You know, she's calling for her colleagues to continue to stand. Obviously, as we go into week 2 next week, it's going to be even more challenging. Parents are feeling the burden of that, as well as the teachers. The teachers don't want to be out there making new renditions of Purple Rain. They want to be in the classrooms.
Right. But I have to tell you, I was feeling that, Georgia. First of all, thank you so much for providing this coverage. This is original coverage from your team, and I want to make sure everyone understands that. Like, this is the only reason we know about this is because you're putting light on it for us. So thank you for that. And then secondly, like, the energy there is something. It was just, I could feel it through the video itself. So solidarity with all those teachers and how cold it is out there, but they're not letting it deter them. So I just want to shout out everyone who's making that moment, who made this video, this moment possible, because I really want everyone in the audience to understand that there is action happening. People are on the ground fighting back, and these teachers are the best example of it.
Yeah, well, and Ben, this is just a microcosm of what's happening across the country, right? When you look at the numbers, we've talked about the Great Resignation. I think 47.4 million people quit their job last year. In November alone, almost 5 million quit their job.
Yeah. You know, and I think people are doing that in a form of protest. As we're looking at that story right now, the Great Resignation, just 4.3 million quit their jobs in January alone, Georgia, to highlight what you're saying. So in 2021, we had a massive amount of people who stepped away from their jobs, some as a form of protest. In the month of January, 4.3 million. And this is according to the U.S. Department of Labor's report issued this past Wednesday. That level is near a record set in November. There were 11.3 million jobs opening, just shy of December's record. And again, this is according to CNBC. So Georgia, it's the people. I do believe the Great Resignation is a way of the people protesting harsh treatment, unfair wages, as well as being exposed to this pandemic in ways that they should not have had to be exposed. But a lot of corporations insisted on people coming back to their offices, coming back to these cubicles, and the pandemic wasn't over. So some people are having to make the hard decision to leave their jobs. And so there are millions now, and it's called the Great Resignation. It's not letting up.
I wonder what is going to happen on the other side of the Great Resignation, because history will tell us corporations will find a way to morph into something that does feel attractive, right? Eventually, if we're up to almost 50 million people now who have quit their jobs, combining the amount of people who left last year with the new numbers we're finding out about from January, like how are these corporations going to convince people to come back to work? I mean, is it going to be better wages? Is it going to be a 4-day work week? Is it going to be work from home?
Yeah.
Is it going to be equity in the company? You know, what are the things that corporations are going to be forced to do, right? And it's unfortunate because they'll do it. They can do it. They have the money to do it. They have the flexibility to do it.
That's right.
But
That's right.
historically, corporations have created cultures within their workplace environment that is not very equitable. That doesn't allow people to have work-life balance. And in the middle of a pandemic, that doesn't allow them to keep themselves or their family safe, right? We have operated in a society where these corporations force us to put them before our own families. And people are tired of it.
That's right. And I think it is a 100% a system design. It's not a flaw. It's a part of the system to treat workers the way corporations are used to treating workers. And because such a large percentage of our working class are literally in these worst conditions, you know, you think of Amazon being one of the biggest employers in the country. We already know how those employees are treated. We have a video of the urine bottles because they work so hard, they have to urinate in bottles. You look at Walmart, one of the biggest employers in the country, and we see how they're treated, unable to unionize. So, of course, when now you put people, it's one thing to treat them horribly, but now you're telling people to put your company over their lives and the lives of their family. And the American people said no.
And when you think too about like the amount of money, you know, like think about this, like, hey, if you're going to give me $28,000 to work for you for the year, guess what? I can make that selling Slim Tea on Facebook. You know, like at this point, if you're gonna pay me, you know, $12 an hour, I can make that selling t-shirts on an e-commerce website on Instagram. Like at this point, people have options. The internet now, you know, we talk about America being an open market and like, you know, the American dream, like if you come here and you work hard, that American dream, I think people are reinventing that because the internet has made it so easy to go to market. You know, you can publish an e-commerce website with a couple of clicks. You can do drop shipping where you never even have to go out and buy materials. You can just sell them one by one and companies will deliver them for you. I mean, the technology that is out there to help people get to market with whatever their dream is. It's so advanced now that the startup costs for businesses are very, very low. And so what is holding people back when so many people, right? We talked about Black professionals in corporate America who had their side hustles. Like that was such a big thing before the pandemic. Like, oh, you got a side hustle. People are turning their side hustles to like
Into
their
their real
full-time
mate.
hustles, and they're
That's
doing
right.
well. People's gifts are making room for them. And so it will be really interesting to see how many people decide to eventually go back, maybe because they don't make it in business long run, or they want more stability, right? But how many people are going to stick this thing out? And in 10, 20 years, will the landscape of the economy change? Will some of these new startup businesses that were birthed in the Great Resignation be big enough to compete with some of these huge
That's
corporations?
right. That's right. That's right. And I think you're hitting on all those key points, Georgia. We're at a turning point, right? Because the economies of scale, what it costs for us to get into the game and to go to market, like you said, well, they've made it pretty cheap. Competition did that much. I'll give capitalism that much. It is a lot cheaper for us to get to market for a whole lot of industries. But at the same time, we're fighting against the headwinds of institutions that have so much money and so much wealth to be a barrier to entry. So we're really at an inflection point where people are making the decision for themselves to say, you know what? Maybe we can take our chances fighting against these big corporations with our small business, because we have all these technologies that give us the opportunity to compete. So I know we're saying a lot, but I'm with you 100%. If the Great Resignation leads to people being free agents and not being tied down to corporations who want to make them work 60 hours a week for $28,000 a year, then I salute every single one of them. Go start your LLC today.
Right. And the next generation, I mean, they are very committed to work-life balance in a way I've never seen it. I was a manager
That's
for a
right.
very short period of time, and every time we did an interview with someone who was born in, the late 90s or early 2000s, their non-negotiable was a 4-day work week. They refuse to work 5, 6, 7 days a week. They're just not going to do it. No way. And I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of working a 4-day work week, but it should be the new normal. I mean, there's so
That's
many
right.
things about the way that our labor industry is designed that is just wrong. Don't get me started on parental leave, maternity
That's right.
leave, and how we are centuries behind other
Yeah.
countries, and how other countries who are allegedly centuries behind us are light years ahead when it comes to those kinds of leaves. But I digress. I'm excited about what this means for the future of our country. If like out of all the things, that's happening that I'm frustrated about and concerned about and that just weighs on me, this is the one thing when I look at these numbers and the Great Resignation, I'm excited about what that means for the future of our country and how it's going to change the landscape of
Yeah.
these corporations who have had a monopoly on our economy for so long.
That's right.
So yeah, we'll see. We're gonna continue to keep our eye on it, and I'd be curious to know if you're watching now. If you have quit your job, leave in the comments what made you quit your job and what are you pursuing now? Like, what's your plan? What do you hope to do? What are you focusing on now? And do you feel encouraged that you'll be able to maintain that in the long term?
Love it. Love it. That's the question right there.
Yeah, yeah. So Ben, I mean, you even could be, I wouldn't say a testament to quitting, but you've been maintaining your own company.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel hopeful that this paradigm shift is going to work in your favor as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, no, I mean it already is, right? Like let's just be realistic. So because of the pandemic and because so many people were working from home, even mainstream television networks, they were reduced down to webcams. And so we were able to get a little bit of an advantage in terms of getting an entryway into the entire conversation about media because of the normalization of COVID and everybody working from home. That is one part. But then the second part is working from home is so much more efficient in the first place. The water cooler is cool, but I'd rather go to my refrigerator, right? And go right back to work. Like, I'm the type of person, if you let me loose at home, I can accomplish anything. But if I got to spend an hour in traffic going, an hour in traffic coming back, and then I got to waste all my money eating in the cafeteria, whatever built, there's just so many inefficiencies with going to work. So I'm hoping that this paradigm remains, because I think it gives everybody the chance to spend less time working, but have more quality time working as well.
Yeah, I mean, it leveled the playing field in a lot of ways.
That's
I know
right.
for me, I actually made a conscious effort. It was a little bit different than yours. Like, so I saw TV digress. Like everything, the value of the production quality went down on television dramatically because people couldn't be in their studios. They couldn't have live studio audiences. They didn't have like the fancy lights set up and, all of the equipment. They were brought down to, like you said, a webcam in their home. They've got dogs barking in the background. Their, spouses walking in the background. And so for me, I actually made a conscious effort that here's the time where now me just going out and filming is going to stand out. If I go out there with my camera at a time when people are in with a webcam, now suddenly the quality of my video production stands out. And so I actually made a conscious effort to lean in to, going out, even though it was in the midst of a pandemic. But as a storyteller, I could never reduce myself to Zoom interviews because of the fact that I can't. Like, I felt like I couldn't afford to do that. They could afford to do that. They'll maintain their audience. They have the money, to mark themselves. But
sure.
I felt like I couldn't afford to do that. And so people would ask me all the time, like, can we do it by Zoom? And I'm like, nope. I couldn't, doing this show. I still feel like it's very dynamic, even though, it's virtual. We have our B-roll in our studio and, whatnot. But in terms of like what we just saw with the teacher strike, you can't capture that over Zoom.
From
That's
home.
something you have to be out in the community. And it was really dangerous, but it did level the playing field. And now as, more TV stations and production companies are going back out, I would say that what I'm finding is there is this push, and not because of the pandemic, but I think more so because of George Floyd and the conversations around racial equity. I think now there is this push to support Black media and to support Black-owned companies. And at a time, if we would have launched our businesses, 10 years ago, I don't know if some of these new Black startups would have the buy-in and the support of corporations or the public. But because there's been this huge emphasis on racial equity, I think that things that were not possible suddenly are. People are seeing why they need to support women-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, businesses owned by people of color. They're seeing these huge, wealth gaps. And the only way to close them is either support our businesses or pay us, hire us at higher wages, allow us to have a seat at the table in the C-suite. How many of these corporations still have a board of directors that are entirely white, still have C-suites that are entirely white and almost entirely male dominated?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And so even when we think about the Great Resignation in terms of, the corporation structure, they need to start promoting people. They need to start putting people in position to not only have higher wages, but have some say in the culture of the company.
That's right. No, absolutely. And I was reading one of the comments saying that we should be encouraging more participation in the workplace. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's both and. Like, we want unions to flourish, to grow, union strong, and we support these teachers out here. But we also support those people who say, until such time we find acceptable jobs, we don't have to give our labor for something, for an unlivable wage, Georgia.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the conditions. I've been on so many workshops where you go into these companies, they want you to give a presentation. A lot of times my presentations are on changing the narrative. Before that, I would work with teams that would do presentations on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there's always this awkward moment where, as a truth teller, you just have to keep it real. And I kid you not, every single time I have to present for a company, there's always this awkward moment where employees end up asking this question, about well, it's not changing. What am I supposed to do? What if I do? What am I supposed to do if I recognize our company's causing harm in the Black community and I feel like we're a part of the problem? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do when I've done all the things but I can't get promoted? Like you'll get these really direct questions, and I always start by trying to offer some solution, some advice, some encouragement, something to keep them hopeful about their position within this company. But then there's a part of the answer that always ends with, and if it doesn't work, then just leave. If you feel like your company is causing harm to the Black community and you're Black and you try to fix it from the inside and that's not working and you try all the things and it's been 20 years, maybe you might just want to leave. Maybe it's not going to change. Maybe you're not going to be the catalyst. Maybe you're not going to be the one. Maybe the company's not going to stop causing harm. Maybe if none of those things work and you tried all the things, maybe it's just time to find a new job. And obviously, a lot of those companies don't hire me to come back, and that's okay, because that's not what I'm here for, But I'm here to tell the truth, and that is the truth. And it's not just my truth from my perspective. Yes, we should be encouraging people to participate in the workforce, but we should also be encouraging these corporations to recognize 50 million people ain't leaving for nothing. 50 million people are leaving because you're not providing a livable wage, because you're exploiting their labor, because they can't unionize, because the cultures suck. Because yes, you say you want equity and you want diversity, but you're not creating an inclusive workplace. So why should we encourage people to subject themselves to modern day slavery?
You said a word there, Georgia. Nobody has to. This might, no, I was going to say something, but I'm not. I'm going to hold it. Georgia Fort, thank you so much, sister, for everything that you do. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I just looked at the time. I'm like, well, we're on the clock. It's Friday. Oh, don't get me started.
It's Friday. I wasn't going to stop you. We'll be back, folks. More of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show after this.
Yeah. Ow! Yeah. Y'all think too small. I got
all right, y'all. Make sure that you stay tuned. Yes! That's dope as hell. David, make sure you send me that so I can post that everywhere. That's going to be my new screensaver. Shout out to the letter hack who did superheroes your boy up. See? That's what my costume looks like. I appreciate that, letter hack. Shout out to you, man. Damn it, that's awesome. Yep, and I got the perfect place for it. Right there. That blank space on my wall, that is going right there. Shout out to the letter hack again, man. That's dope as hell. Woo! The shine, I think it's my time to count for them dollar signs like lifestyle blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broken, I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. All right, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next on the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Shout out again to the letter hack for that dope ass drawing, man. I cannot wait to print that and film it. And hang it. And shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Make sure that y'all have y'all faces in place tonight. Patron party's going down. If you remember how it was last week, It's going to be a million times worse this week.
Gotta do it big.
Gotta
do it big. That's the only way.
Good morning again, everybody.
I gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. I gotta do it big. Gotta do it big. That's the only way to live. Come on. Yeah, come on.
Right, Tiger, I like it. Shout out, brother Latif in the building. What's going on, Latif? Being so old, I just want to put that out there. Being old as hell. F8L Applaud Dragon, good morning. Smash, good morning to you.
Off my cargo. It went a little bit far though. I didn't blow my top off.
You know, Lee, Six Dragon Daddy, I don't. First of all, I don't know what the hell of the NFT is, and I have not taken my time to research it. So I have not invested. I wanted to look at it right now, so yeah. I need real stuff right now. Look.
Well, you got your thoughts. I'll be in there deep. What about your heart?
Melody Dennis, good morning to you. And shout out to our brother Chuck Deucer, man. Shout out Chuck Deucer. And if y'all can, we do want to help and support our brother. We have heard from him. He is doing pretty good. But you know, like everybody, we could all use a little help, man. So if you can, if you feel like you have the power to do like I can as well, I'm going to do what I can. $sign Trump Diesel 9, $CHUCKDIESEL 9. You gotta help our brother out, man. If you can, I'm gonna do what I can as well too. Shout out Chuck Diesel, man. We love you, brother. If you need anything, let us know. Environmental Coffee House, good morning to you. Gonna hate me for this video. Hey y'all. Tell y'all why my stomach was hurt yesterday. So yesterday at 8 o'clock, it was very time consuming, especially when I went back for seconds. All right, y'all, we coming back with Like It or Not momentarily here. Rebecca Azor will be joining us momentarily. But until then, we're going to come back with Benjamin D. Dixon.
Don't work too hard, my break
Benjamin.
Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
I didn't know we was rolling the intro yet.
I didn't either. But good morning.
Damn it, David. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
Did not care who doesn't like it. I forgot what Dr. Max says, and we don't care if you don't like it or not. Like, what?
He was like, I don't give a damn if you like it or not.
Like it or not.
It is Friday, March 11th, 2022. We're waiting on Queen Azor. Well, actually, no, it's appropriate. You wait on queens. They take their time. She's doing whatever she does. She'll be here
exactly
when she gets here.
Queen
James,
what's
going on, man?
Time, so you know.
There you go. I thought maybe you were talking about my daughter. But, yeah.
Let me find out she's starting early.
I I thought because she's never on time either. Like she runs on her own schedule. Like you understand. So we just kind of come to terms with that at this point. So I'm well rehearsed for Rebecca. I'm well rehearsed for Rebecca's time frame. So
that's hilarious, dude.
What you been up to, man? Glad to see you doing better, man. We missed you yesterday.
Man, just working like a slave and just doing everything I need to do. But yeah, man, I'm here. I'm good. My stomach was bothering me so bad yesterday. I'm just like, I just need to sit down somewhere. So that's what I did. I hate being the damn shit. It's the truth. They say you're working like a Hebrew. Like, yeah. Oh! Working like a Hebrew. Like, I see what they mean sometimes.
When you said it, wait. You said it the first time. I'm like, okay, he made it without saying it. Oh my goodness. This is you guys have to forgive us. That's a saying that we picked up from church. And I'm not sure it's an appropriate saying, but it's definitely one I picked up from some of my pastors whenever they worked me as a musician and didn't have enough to pay me. They would say that they were working me like what James just said. But I'm not going to say it again, James, because I'm not going to get canceled. You get canceled on your own time. That's it.
Is that a cancelable offense? I mean, let's be honest.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. I'm just in the realm of. It just everything is a cancelable offense if you ask me.
Everything,
it's just the way we live.
I wipe my ass from the back, from the front, so it's a cancelable offense now. So but I do understand you, man. You never know these days. Everything is cancelable. So you're right.
Okay.
Wait here.
I didn't say it.
They didn't
I just tried to cut. I just tried to provide cover for my brother, who hasn't been in these political fields as long as me.
Ben tries, but goddamn it, good luck with that.
And I'm the one without the good microphone today, so good luck with it.
Honestly, you sound really good. I thought you had your mic on at first. I was like, dang, this sounds good.
I don't have my mic today, man. I left it in Jacksonville. I got
David popping in like Puerto Rican Poppy over here. Yo, mute David.
I figured I'd give you Jewish cover.
Thank you.
As an agnostic Jew, yeah, there's no anybody that's going to label this segment as anti-Semitic. It's not.
Oh, David!
It's said in love.
I didn't do it.
Love that, man.
I just want the record. I just need the record to reflect that I was trying to avoid. But do you know how many times, God bless him, my pastor, I'm not going to call his name, but God bless him, he's not with us anymore. But that man used to always say, yeah, I'm going to work you like a Hebrew slave. And I was like, Pastor, that's anti-Semitic. You can't say that. He kept saying it anyway. He didn't care.
Still said it. It's a lot of pastors that be out here saying, and I'm like, what does it mean? And after for more research, I'm like, oh, that's what you mean when you say that.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, thank you for the Jewish cover, David. I think we should move on here. Speaking of other cancelable offenses, there's a January. wait, no, we got three. We have three stories here.
Okay.
James, the other day we covered the story of the person who got 36 months because of the Charizard Pokemon card. Using the somebody used $57,000, I believe, was dollars of their $80,000 loan to purchase a Pokemon trading card, and they got 36 months in jail because of it. There's another one, cheese fraud in Brownsville, Texas. Texas women have been sent to prison following their convictions of conspiracy and committing $1.2 million in food stamp fraud. But here's the thing. It was cheese. James, it was Ana Rioja, 51, and Maria Consuela de Urano. I don't know why y'all put their names in there because I was going to mess them up. They both pled guilty in May to conspiring to commit and committing SNAP benefits fraud. And beginning in February 2016, the investigation revealed the two and other co-conspirators exchanged SNAP benefits for cash by using a point-of-sale device at a local market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, listen. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the fact that this focused on the cheese part that got my attention, because I don't want to bring light to the fact that, people do what they got to do with the SNAP benefits. So that part of the story, I'm not particularly interested in solidarity with people who know how to work the system. But why cheese though, David? I'm curious where the cheese part.
And I'm looking at this right there, that top line, David, that you just
Pinto
highlighted.
beans.
Urano's fraudulent purchases total to approximately 49.1 tons of American cheese slices, 22.3 tons of pinto beans, 1.6 tons of Folgers
It's
coffee,
so specific.
1.4 tons of instant mashed potatoes, and over 5,000 gallons of mayonnaise, which she would sell to partner and transport to Mexico. That's what I knew that it was. I'm like, y'all got to be moving this product, man.
Bro, wait, bro.
It's got to be some more to this story. Like, God, it's got to be some more to this story.
They got a whole restaurant down there in Mexico using government cheese, bro. They're taking government cheese from America and going down across the other side. Hey, man. Hey, they got to hustle.
But what Mexican dish got cheese? You know what? I'm going to leave it alone. Not going to touch it. Not going to touch it.
I got to read a little bit more, man.
I think I know. Go ahead, man.
The investigation discovered 715 fraudulent transactions. You already said 83 of them were SNAP benefit, and the fraudulent purchases total approximately 41.9 tons. See, this is the thing. I'm with you, James. I'm not sure what recipe takes American cheese. That much American cheese.
Unless they were melting it down. It's just the whole conversation can go so left, bro. I'm like trying not to touch it. It's like if you melted it down to make like a cheese sauce or something. That's the only thing that I can think of. But I'm just like and the other part of me thinking that maybe they're helping somebody out, maybe they're helping an area, a neighborhood or something. That's a lot of
restaurant,
product,
bro.
man. Yeah, it is a restaurant.
Now, listen. If they're feeding the people in the community, then solidarity with them even more. Like, shout out to y'all but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they got a restaurant chain that they're trying to supply food for, bro.
Bro, 5,000 gallons of mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. That's the whitest restaurant in the country. Anyway, the Kardashians. I'm gonna pull this one in here now. Let's do this.
Gosh. Go to cheese to the Kardashians. I mean, I guess it is a good pivot.
The consistency is the same. Anyway,
get this guy off the screen, please.
Kim Kardashian has some advice for you, for all of you lazy people who don't know. And I'm assuming, David, you have this clip because I saw it in the spreadsheet, so I'm going to go with it. For all of you lazy people who don't know how to put in an honest day's work and work your butts off, is hard. I'm telling you, as hard as Kim Kardashian. David, you better have this clip. Take a listen to it.
The best advice for women in business: get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do, because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
I mean, I feel like it was like the whole thing. If you listen to the whole thing is like pretty good. But I'm just like, coming from the Kardashians.
Come on, man. Listen, the toxic work environment thing. Absolutely. Listen, you do not have to go to a toxic work environment. She's absolutely right there. But I just have a little hard time taking advice on hard work from people who I'm sorry. I don't know that they know what a hard work dude. I just can't get from rich socialites who eat caviar for, because it's Tuesday morning at 3 a.m. They just get caviar and go eat, rose, telling us about working hard. It just don't sit well with me.
Right. And granted, I think, they may work hard, but I don't think it's like the work hard like most Americans have to go through.
That's it. Yeah.
Because it's our work hard is way different from they work hard. They work hard is just getting on the phone and making a couple of phone calls. Our work hard is getting our ass up at 6 a.m. in the morning, fiddling around, making meals and doing all kinds of extra stuff just for $10 an hour, or just to survive paycheck to paycheck, or pay enough money to get gas in the car. That's what our hard working is. Y'all ain't never had to deal with that a day in your whole life. Let's be honest.
Come on, man. My hard work got my feet looking like,
bruh,
the movie Glory. Have you seen the movie Glory? I've put in so many miles, dude. I'm talking about like covering stories. I just think about how many miles I've walked covering stories alone. And my feet look like they've been through World War III already. Like, that's hard work, Kim. I just, don't get me wrong. I get it. She probably stays up 24 hours when she's in a photo shoot. Yeah, we stay up 24 hours because we ain't have nowhere to sleep that night. You know what I mean? So it's just a different kind of level of hard.
To say photo shoot. You could say like when she doing her like attorney stuff or something. Because I will say she has made some moves with some of her attorney stuff. I give her that. I give her that. My dog, what? Photo shoot.
Well, listen. No. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna be because she's actually going through some stuff right now, and as much as it's annoying to hear extremely rich, beautiful people say that we plebeians have to work harder, at the same time, her boyfriend, her ex-husband, did you see the video he made about Pete Davidson? Did you see that insanity?
I have not watched it yet. I honestly, I know it's been off for a minute. I haven't watched it yet.
Man, I don't
know.
Yeah. So she can, shout out to Kim, solidarity. Like, we don't want you to be going through what you're going through with your psychotic ex-husband, but at the same time, like, hard work, like, Whew, you might want to think that one through again before you run that clip. What else we got, James? We're gonna be through with all the stories. We're gonna be done before Rebecca get here.
Hey, that's excuse me. That's why Rebecca was like, "What we got left?" I'm like, because she's gonna come in and talk for about 30-45 minutes about a story anyway, so that's okay. At least we
I thought I heard her laughing in the background. Oops, she's not here yet. All right, let me see what else I have on my list. Go ahead.
And speaking of Kanye, what I will say, like, I've been hearing that Donda 2 is boo-boo garbage.
I haven't heard.
I'm like a lot of the critics, man, because nobody has it yet, but a lot of the critics that have gotten that stem player, that video was terrible. But a lot of people that have gotten a stem player, they like the little player is really cool. But the album, the tracks, you can tell everybody's saying that they're all unfinished. And it's just like, it's like a mess.
So
Kanye. Yeah. Damn Kanye. Mr. Old Kanye.
Old Kanye. I missed the Kanye that was nervous on stage saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's the Kanye I miss, man. That dude was that was a real one right there. I don't know who this new dude.
He was acting. That's all.
He was nervous. He was like George Bush, but he was good
about white people.
It was the truth. Did you know? I don't know how many people noticed after that happened. George W. Bush came out and said that was the worst moment of his presidency.
Yep.
Did you know that? Yep. This is the man who presided over 9/11. Said that Kanye West was the worst moment of his presidency. Anyway, I got time for these conservative Caucasians. I don't have time for y'all today. Let's pull up this. Let's pull up this next one. What is this? Walker versus Bobert, reigning BS. Is that appropriate for the live show, David? You might want to jump in here before I call something inappropriate.
Right. Just we get canceled.
I think the only bad language it has is BS, like actually saying bullshit. So I think we can play it. It was meant for the after party, but we can roll it so Rebecca's not eating and gets grossed out during the real after party.
Okay,
right.
Okay, and then what about the clip from Olay? Do you think she'll mind if we play that in the live show, or do we need
that one? Let's do in the after. No, that one let's do in the after. Not for Olay's sake, just for the show's sake.
Yeah, let's do that for after party. Because I was hoping wondering if we were going to play that. Because I was like, Olay.
Okay, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'll pull the other one though.
Okay.
In the meantime, though.
Oh.
What is this? Oh yeah. Yeah, play it. Play it. Freedom Friday, folks.
Over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know, it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for
that boy, so listen, he was spitting the gospel truth.
Even for me.
Wait, put him back up there, David. Why'd you take him down?
He's just about to get to the good part.
Yeah, keep playing. Keep playing it.
Our business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people.
That's right.
Anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America
look at Mike Myers,
the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
That's right.
And subtle in many ways.
He said, I don't have enough cocaine. I don't have enough cocaine for this.
What the hell is going on right now?
And remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
Chris Tucker.
America and people have been stepping up.
I missed that Kanye. I missed that Kanye.
Doesn't care about black people.
And it was just so natural when he came off with it. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Oh man. Listen, that's the Kanye the world needed. I don't know what happened between then and Donda 2. I guess we do know what happened. He just, a lot happened, man. So, but it is what it is. Shout out to Kanye. Stop being an asshole to people, man, and everything else will work itself out. James, you want to take a little quick break? Give Rebecca a little bit more. What's that, David?
Oh, shit!
We are real Coloradans. We deserve a living wage, small government that actually works, and freedom of choice. Instead, we have bullshit. Don't you ever wonder where it's all coming from? Colorado needs a bull, not a bullshitter. I'm Alex Walker, and I approve the shit out of this message.
James! James! Wait, say something! James, say something!
I am speechless. Oh, what the hell is that? These politicians ain't holding no punches, huh?
They got no. They got no chill. Oh man,
that was some
I
shit.
did not. Take us to a break, James. We'll be back.
I don't know how I'm supposed to. Okay, I think I got it. It's,
oh my God.
Somebody
I got a
in
headache.
one place.
Lauren Boebert, bro. The Lauren Boebert. We'll be back after this break, y'all.
Help me, please. Oh my God, today. As the video plays in the background is B-roll.
Don't got nothing on you. Don't got nothing on you.
That was just out of
heart is ready for something I have been had in a long time. True love crime, my
OMG, that's all I can say at this
point. Hurt for a while. Let's slow down.
Wow.
Slow down. I can see behind that broken smile. Nice, sweet.
That was dope as hell though. Walking from Colorado. You know what, David, what we need to pull? There is a guy running for, oh my gosh, I can't remember if he's running for mayor, what he's running for in Louisiana. David, can we pull his ad as well too? Because this black man, when I tell you, it's not a shit starter, literally, but it's like something we can get behind. I really think so. David, you know who I'm talking about. Good morning, Miss Sophia. Hey. David, let me see if I can find out his name. I know somebody in the Chambers. Gary Chambers, I think his name is, David. Yep, Gary Chambers Jr. Yes. That is my dog right there. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We have more coming up soon. David, that may have been it, but I don't know if we can do that one. Indian Brown, good morning. One Source Productions, good morning to you. Yep, Lee, that's right. He burned that damn Confederate flag. That's exactly what he did.
Take my mind off you, baby. Oh, come be my lady. Oh, give me a baby.
Tonight, y'all. Tonight it goes down. Patron party. You don't want to miss this one. Mara Cerise, good morning to you. Shout out Nat A. Shout out Nat M as well too. Good morning, y'all.
I can't let you go, baby. I just wanna tell you that. No,
hey, Just Hearts NY City. I think he is Democrat. Magdalene Moon, good morning. Jason Marks, good morning.
Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that I've been looking for love so true.
Elizabeth Lonzo, you are crazy. Good morning to you.
Well, you might be a liar.
Lily, this is John Roomfelt with Lakeisha Nugent.
Cause I love you. Yes, I do. I can't let
Queen Abby, good morning to you.
I can't let
My pleasure, Just Hearts. Shay, good morning to you. Rhonda Smith, good morning. Black Panther, you stupid. Hit Get a 9, good morning.
Can't let you go, 'cause I love you, 'cause I love you, yeah. There was a time I didn't have romance, but after I met you, I felt it was my chance. When nobody tells me good things about you, baby, I'm gonna stay right here.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the screen. My brother from another mother. I'm guessing that he's ready.
We ready,
Shit
man.
starter and rebel rouser, Benjamin T.
not the kind of shitstorm we just saw in that political ad from Walker for, was it Colorado?
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah,
That go ahead and move to Colorado. I say he's with the shits.
Wildest. Literally the wildest commercial I have ever seen. We gonna hold it because I think some people might be eating breakfast still, David. Let's hold the rest of that B-roll footage.
They wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready, but it's Friday, and I'll be honest with you, James. Like we've been in I know you know it, man. When Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine, man, our team, we went into war correspondent mode, man. We were right. Like, let's. And I'm like, now we gotta breathe to go the distance, man. We gotta laugh. Like we created the show to be what it is for a reason, which is a place where we can get the news and not let the news break us. So
absolutely.
There's plenty of room for the laughs, but that shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted to say it again.
That was a good one. That was a
Good morning, mother. Good morning, mother dear. I'll hear about that before the end of the episode. She'll be texting me. Let's go to. Listen, when we talk about the traitors, James, like they're traitors in America. I'm not exactly the most patriotic. I am pretty patriotic, but I try not to be. But America's the only home I got. Pretty sure it's the same for you. Most black people, if you're a descendant of enslaved people, you are. Rebecca's here. Okay, so if you're a descendant of enslaved people, America is your only home. Good morning, Queen Azor. Before I finish the rest of this story, how goes the day with all your mic stands showing, your camera stands?
Right, like goddamn.
He just put me on. He ain't give me no kind of cue, no nothing. What is this? This is my computer, Lord. Let's put this over here. Let me drag the mic on over here. Let me cut this out a little bit and then put it back over here. Let me move my shorty. All right, let me make sure that ain't nothing in the background looking crazy.
I didn't press the wrong button and everything on my microphone and lost the audio.
I didn't notice in the small thumbnail that the stuff was still in the frame.
It's my camera's a little leaning to the side. Y'all just rock with me.
You got a little gangster lean.
They got a little lean with a rock with it this morning. But I'm right here. I'll fix it in a few.
Did we both say gangsta lean at the same exact time, bro?
It's really good.
I just want to get credit for noticing first Rebecca's hair. I noticed the
David, he beat me to it. God damn it.
How we looking now? You know what? David, can you do me a favor and bring me down? I didn't do it right today.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if we should just kind of filibuster going on with the story.
Look, we might as well filibuster while she get that camera together. Oh, you know what? What story you were talking about, Ben? I'm sorry.
I was talking about how we need to treat the people from January 6th. We got a video, so we're gonna wait for Rebecca. I want her to see this because they drug this man out in his underwear, bro. They drug a January 6er out in his underwear, and he's good morning, Queen Azor.
Here I am. Hey guys, how you doing? Good morning. Thank you so much for waiting on me this morning. I had a tough time this morning, waking up, dragging myself out of the biz naive. And so wow, because yesterday, as you guys know who watched the show yesterday, as I'm plugging in my computer for charge, yesterday I was super duper exhausted. The exhaustion led to throughout the day as I continued work at my
9 to 11 p.m. job yesterday. And the way that I got up this morning, I said, Lord, just give me about 10 minutes. And then I was dancing like this in my dream to the alarm. And then finally I was like, y'all, I just woke up. And so I needed to just sit there on the bed and think about who I am as a person in my life and the possibilities of going
and
back
the choices you're making.
And the possibilities of going back into the office. And I got sad for 2 seconds. And I said, God, if you did it for me thus far, I know you got so much more for me. I know that you won't let the devil work. I know that you will not let the devil work in the ways of going back into offices. But anywho, I finally woosah'd myself into the restroom, hit the toothbrush, hit the curling iron, hit the Dio. And here we are. So and thank you so much, David, for the compliment on my my highlights. I'm trying something new for about a week. Probably will take these out next week. But it's giving me like Remy Ma, you know what I'm saying? Like walked around the metal detector and there really ain't a need for a VIP section. You remember that one? It's giving me that right there. And it's also giving me 7th Streeter, if y'all remember that.
Yes.
Her first single. You remember that one? Yeah. So anywho, good morning is all I have to say. Good morning. Good morning to the children.
To you.
Right.
Why did I walk right into that insult? Good morning to the children. We love you too, Rebecca. Good morning to you.
You didn't say good morning to the children.
You said to the children.
Oh, Heifer, good morning.
Me and James are the same person.
Like kids on a Friday when your parents be like, damn, I woke up late today. Y'all get up. Y'all get up. We're gonna get y'all to school. Both of y'all. Look at y'all. Hoodie and the champion joint. That is pure mother attire for the kids on a Friday when they go into school. And tired
when the parents ain't wake up in time to get them dressed.
What you want to wear? You wore that shirt on Wednesday. You be like, go dress yourself.
Wear this
they come back with the same shirt they had on that Monday.
I want to wear the bootleg. I want to wear the bootleg Nightmare on Elm Street sweater. What's wrong with this? Somebody tell me what's wrong with this sweater.
Them Wolverine claws, man.
That's Wolverine. That ain't Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that's giving more of a
Walmart. I got this at Walmart. Y'all selling bootleg stuff at Walmart.
That's okay. It's still cute. I like it.
Me too. He's still in like 2 fingers, but it look good.
Y'all seen? I had a shirt. No, there was a shirt that we were supposed to purchase, and it was supposed to be from the line at Target. And my girlfriend sent it to me. She said, "Look at Malcolm X on here." It wasn't Malcolm X on that shirt.
It was Denzel.
I don't know who it was. I'm trying to remember who it was, but it was not Malcolm X on that shirt. But the way that they created the shirt was with another black historical figure, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Ray Charles? It was supposed to be Ray Charles or something like that, or one of the people. And we was both saying, I said, "Girl, that is Malcolm X." Girl, that ain't Malcolm X. We had to move forward from that because the person who designed it didn't design it right, but in support, we were.
I ain't supporting everything.
Yeah, at least somebody would have said it's Ray Charles. I would have said yes, because that's still a black historical, that's still a black public figure.
So I'm guessing it was the picture where Malcolm is looking out the window with the gun.
I wish it was that. Now that's a good one. That's a good picture.
Because they always put people in that one. I'm just like, I didn't see Martin Luther King in that picture. I was like, wait, the King went in that picture.
No, it was really giving Ray Charles. It was giving Ray Charles. Was it Ray Charles or was it Malcolm? I can't. The glasses, and then they just looking. I guess this way. There is no. Of course, it's being sold at Target. We don't want to scare the whites, so there's not going to be like an AK-47 on the shoulder. It's not going to be like that. But it was just. But the picture was really giving. Is it Malcolm? Is it Ray? Is it Steve from the early? Who is this man? But whoever somebody would ask. No answer was the wrong answer for those who didn't know. You see what I'm saying? You could always play it off.
Damn. Well, folks,
So about January 6th, who ran up there? Who got dragged out in their draws? I do apologize. I'm just really rolling up here with energy I don't have. Who ran up at the Capitol and got their behinds dragged out in their draws?
In their draws.
Well, right. In their draws, man. In their draws, in their boxers. Proud Boy leader, and federal informant. He's a snitch. This is what they do to snitches. They got your testimony and then they drug you out in your underwear. By the name of Enrique Tarrio. Torrio.
Yep.
He was charged with conspiracy in Capitol riot case, allegedly met with Oath Keepers. Oath Keepers, one of the organizations that stormed the Capitol, and he met with them in the parking garage leading up to the January 6th. So the deal is that he was not physically at January 6th because he's a snitch and he was in federal custody. So he couldn't possibly be there. So at first he wasn't going to be charged. But when they found out he had previously met with the Oath Keepers preparing January 6th, the people he snitched to, the FBI, drug his snitch ass out in his underwear.
That's in the drawer. I hope they had holes in them, because you know what your mama said. Don't go outside with the holy underwear.
Okay,
you don't know
with the dirty drawers on.
Amen.
Play the clip, David. Run the clip.
Enrique Tarrio, the self-proclaimed former leader of the far-right group Proud Boys, has been indicted on conspiracy and obstruction charges. That's according to the Justice Department. You're looking at video of police arresting Tarrio this morning in Miami. This comes nearly 2 months after he was released from the D.C. jail. You might remember that. Tarrio was sentenced to 5 months after pleading guilty to stealing and burning a Black Lives Matter banner from a historically Black D.C. church. He also pled guilty to bringing a loaded gun to D.C. before that riot. Tarrio was not at the Capitol on January 6th. We should point that out. He also denies that he or his group organized any violence at the Capitol.
So he helped get it together. You know, he helped plan it, put it together, create those Facebook accounts and
he's
stuff.
a founder of Proud Boys. The Proud Boys were there. He just wasn't there.
Yeah, because he knew my name is Enrique Tarrio.
This is what they do.
When they would have ID'd him on site, he didn't say he's part of the Proud Boys. They would have been like, who? Who is part? They would have been owls at that time. Who was part of the Proud Boys? It ain't you. Who?
Yeah, I remember Antifa.
Somebody said in the chat. Somebody said that body right there don't look like the same body that was on that armor. It sure don't.
Baby, because you know what the armor do though. That's like a.
It's a waist trainer. Waist trainer, right?
It gets you right. It's up.
It sure
Why y'all think I wear hoodies? Just throw
You know
these hoodies on, right?
It gets you right.
He got a little dad bod. He got a little dad bod. See, he's giving dad bod tease.
You know, and I don't mind a dad bod, but here
dad bods are in.
Enrique. That's how we say it in my language. I don't know in Spanish, but Enrique Tarrio. Excuse him. Like who you can't even go for passing, baby. You can't even go for whites. You can't even go for the Aryan race of your people, baby. We see, baby. So you know when they came and pulled up on your home, you had to get the call, man. Enrique, man. Hate to do this to you, but we had to tell someone. So tonight you might be getting a knock at the door. Enrique's like, hello, why are they coming to my door? Sorry, Enrique, can't talk. Now Enrique, they done pulled up on Enrique. And where's the Proud Boys? Where's the family? Where's the friends?
Where the family at?
Where they at?
Where they at? No.
They had a Klan meeting or something. I'm not even sure. They at the border trying to stop his cousins from getting in. So anyway,
that man, he know he tried it. You know he tried it for even pulling up with them people. He tried.
That's what you get.
He tried all of that. He did. He really did.
His melanin count is too high.
He was reaching. The arms this short. He was reaching like this. You reached. Oh Lord.
Rebecca, I hate you. Oh my God. What else we got? Let me see. We already got about 13 minutes left. No, we got more. No, actually, I think that.
Are we not going to talk about
David? What are you talking about?
I was getting ready to play the Olay clip, but again, we're going to wait for the after party for that. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I wanted to do just a brief two things. Dr. Carl Mack did send out something, and I'll drop it to you, David, right now. And I apologize because I was supposed to drop it before. But I wanted to talk briefly and discuss. I don't know if you guys have the video that I dropped yesterday, David. Yes or no?
Which video is that? What's the topic?
Kim K and her commentary on about women to work hard. Now, there are so many different takes on it. There are Black women who are actually coming in defense of her. And there are some that are, not really follow, who like me. Here we go. I just want you guys to hear what she says in this. Yes.
Hey, we played it, but we do want to get your take on it.
We want it. Yes. Yeah, no, we were
Yeah,
waiting.
we were waiting for you.
Waiting.
Yes,
We've been waiting to hear what you had to say about this.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you guys played it without me. Because the show must go on. So as Bubba go get his camera together, let's go ahead and replay this, and
All
so
right,
I
let's
can
listen
get
again.
my talking points across. Let's go.
In business. I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have
So
a good
true.
work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life.
God.
No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
So let me say this. Everything that she said is absolutely true. But when it comes for someone whose history, and I don't even want to go into the sex tape because mama did that. You had a mother who has a business mind who came in and cashed out on that opportunity to make sure that you wouldn't be known for just this. We'll flip it and we'll make it money. We'll flip it and we'll make it something where we can create a queendom, for us and our kids, our little black kids that we're going to have. So here she goes. Absolutely ain't mad at it. But when it comes from somebody who doesn't practice what they preach, I'm not even going to go into the fact that they were born rich. Maybe the lower level of the rich side, but they never needed or wanted for anything. With the father being someone who, was a huge lawyer, and then the mother marrying the Caitlyn Jenner at the time, who was Bruce Jenner, and who was a huge man in sports. I believe was it golf or was it
Olympian,
whatever? And
track and field,
tennis?
I think.
It was one of the sports, but he was huge in sports. Now but at the time, and the whole U.S. celebrated this. Literally, this was a king in sports. So, anyways, I say all that to say, when she had, and this is, you guys can look it up, it's actual and factual. This is a woman who is stolen from Brandy and her mother, because she used to be a stylist, assistant stylist to Brandy at the time. Brandy, yes, Ray J's sister. Yes, that Brandy. The princess of R&B, the vocal Bible. Yeah, that Brandy. At the time, she did that work for them and ended up stealing in credit card and I would say a teenager, no, not even that, grown woman at the time, 20s, trying to get her foot in the door of styling and things like that. Stole at the time $120,000. And I know for rich folks, is where she is right now, $100,000 is laughable, baby. I could throw that to you in pennies, right? I could, whatever. But at the time when she was working for them, $120,000, that's fraud. Stole that. This is actual and factual. Moving forward, and Brandy could have brought that to all the light to the light. She could have brought that conversation to everywhere it needed to be, but let that be where it's at. Then coming into somebody who is owning, or being the face of different businesses, then, not really having to do much, but your popularity, because that at the end of the day is where it's at. Social media, if you have enough followers, if you have enough whatever, that can become your business. You don't really have to work too hard. Some people, and this is no offense to everybody that's showing ass, because if I had it, you would see it all over the social media. But when you just have that platform, other name brands as Fashion Nova at the time would come to you. People who had but we know y'all had work done on your bodies, but yet you are promoting a pill in a bottle that tells us that we're going to lose weight, right? And because you are just that much of a public figure, it works out for you in business. You don't really have to do much. Here's an example of not having to work hard. I'm not saying that I'm hating on that, because it's easy. I love to make easy money too, baby. And then you're saying get out of those toxic work environments. You need to get up on your ass every day and get out the toxic work environments. There have been so many articles that have been written up, but many, many, many people, okay, who are big and have a huge following, people will support you no matter who speaks up. I don't know. It's just a thing. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing. No matter how much bad you've done, a lot of people will support you no matter how much you speak up about that person or being in their environment and you've been tortured. So with that being said, the Kardashian family did have businesses with their KK beauty and things like that. And they paid, and this is for the people working in the United States that were working and packaging their stuff. They paid them less than livable wages. One girl talked about calling in sick so many times. Who had to work there? She talked about calling in sick just because she ain't had no gas to make it across the way to get to work, and then was reprimanded for the times that she, was saying, I just didn't have it to come. I just didn't have it to come in. Was reprimanded, was embarrassed, and then the factories that are actually making the stuff in these sweatshops out of the country. Are you paying them livable wages? Are those not toxic environments? From somebody that it comes easy from. And I ain't hating, because if I was born into richdom, if I was born that way, I would be happy and saying, well, you know what? I didn't get it out the mud, but this is what I did in working hard. And this is what I'm saying for women in business. So just telling people to get up off their effing behinds. A lot of people's arguments, I'll say, people who were for what she's saying. Like I said, in what she's saying isn't wrong, but in how she's just spewing it out, just saying that we need to get up off of our asses as women in business. I know a lot of women who are in businesses who are working hard every single day, and there are so many things that are not in their favor. Them getting denied loans when they go to the bank, them having a lot of followers, but because of the content that they promote, it's not deemed something that a certain brand wouldn't want to partner themselves with, like somebody who may discuss, who talks about beauty brands and all types of beauty brands, but they talk about in these beauty brands that there's not enough representation of Black women in their products. Oh, no, we can't partner with that. This is a woman that's been working hard, and her particular message is different than, people who come at it from this kind of approach. This is a woman in business. This is a woman who may have kids that doesn't have a nanny that can take care of them kids, and got kids running in the background of the YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I ain't talking about the ones that look great on YouTube with the with the beautiful ring, and then the husband, and then the baby, like, oh, she's always doing. No, I'm talking about with the bad kids that you can't tame, running around in the background while you're trying to make a hair video to at least get the 50 views. When we're talking about working hard, it looks different for everyone, and it looks different for Kim Kardashian. It really does. Her working hard, and it may not be the same thing for all of us, but as women in business, a lot of women, they'll tell you, I mean, it's great. It's easy when you can say this. It's easy when you can have partnerships just because of your name. It's easy when you have a mom that's going to momager you down. It's easy when you can create partnerships with not only your previous husband, but with other women in the game. You know what I'm saying? Of all races too. Like it's easy when they know that you are just a walking billboard who doesn't have to really do much and attach your name to these things.
She hit tweet on that tweet though. That's hard work. That tweet was hard.
Yeah, and not only that, imagine people loving your voice. And I'm speaking from experience, but imagine people loving your voice, your craft, and paying someone else to do the same thing on that platform, paying them, offering to pay that person to go on that platform because of their name. But they know how great you are. They know how great you are. And you're coming on there working hard, researching, doing all of this stuff. But they're saying, we're going to give you exposure. But they found you because of exposure. They found me because of exposure, yet they're not offering me not a penny. Not nothing. But because of this person who has a name, doesn't have to do much. Let me go ahead and drop this 10 grand on you because you have this typical this following. So working hard looks different. I'm not saying what she said is wrong, but she needs to direct that to her rich friends. Talk to your rich friends.
Hello.
Okay.
And look,
baby, I cannot relate. I cannot relate. I gotta pay rent. If I'm one check short, things look different for me.
Hello.
Things look different for me. I work 6 jobs. I'm a background singer. I'm a journalist, and I work a 9 to God knows whenever I need to work to make ends meet. So I pay for my family to be taken care of. Baby, who you talking to?
Who
you talking to? So that's all I have to say about that. We just got to be careful with who we're and I know we're not surprised that this came from
my
her,
gosh.
but it was the fervor that she said, you need to get off your ass and
Your
work
effing
hard.
eyes.
Your effing
And then the
eyes.
background. And then the background, they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah.
true. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
If people just worked hard,
Yeah,
they would
that's
get so much further.
true.
I love Courtney though. I'm not gonna lie
Meanwhile,
to you. I love
Courtney
Courtney.
was on a
I love
season
Courtney.
of the show talking about how they read her rights like, you're so lazy, Courtney. And Courtney's like, I just don't want to work. It's like, you're so lazy, you don't want to do anything.
Courtney like, I'm just chilling. I got
just
this
don't
new
wanna
body. I
work.
got this new baby.
Listen,
I ain't
if
stunned
I
y'all.
was with it, if I had it, do you think that? Listen, no. I would never ever open my mouth to just generally say to the public and women in business, not on Black Women's History Month. Not on Black Women's History Month. I know y'all got black babies. Some of y'all. I know y'all dating black men. Some of y'all.
Oh,
But not on Black
jeez.
Women's History Month, you pulling up and saying this. I can't wrap my mind around that. I can't wrap this.
Oh my
this
gosh.
blonde streak around that at all.
You
At all.
stupid.
Rebecca's a fool. A whole
It's
fool.
Friday. I hope I
man.
made y'all kiki, but I'm gonna stay in my
Oh.
I'm gonna stay in my right above. I don't even know where I am on that. I may be the working poor. I'm gonna stay my working poor business. I mean, like, you have to understand when we get checks, we gotta budget out what's the fun that we can do. We gotta budget out the beauty products that we can purchase for that week. We gotta budget out. Make sure that the not only is the rent paid, because when you grown, you stop making the bad decisions of saying that they're gonna take it anyway. I'm gonna owe it anyway. You stop making those bad decisions. So when you get your check, you gotta be like, okay, on this week, I can move this over. Can I afford to go to that concert? Can I afford to go to that steakhouse? Can I afford? That's where we at with it. From working hard people.
Rebecca can plan for big stuff. Bubba's planning is like, okay, I think I can afford to get this weed on Friday. I think, okay, if I don't pay this bill, then I can pay this other bill and go ahead and get it. I can't do nothing else. The weed is the only goddamn thing that I can afford after I pay all my damn bills. Unfortunately, it's like, okay, what credit card I got? Oh, nope, that ain't gonna get paid this week. Oh, gas.
That is but let me go get that.
Ain't no goddamn gas at all time.
Oh, right now,
I can't even put $5 in my car for nothing. $5 gonna look at me like, man.
You see, like I said, I had to say the working class poor. There's levels to this, and I'm gonna be proud of my levels. I can't say I'm on that level where I gotta be like, oh, I gotta know, because I'm gonna get it. That's the thing. I'm going to get it. So I have to.
And you know what? And Rebecca, I think you feel the same way I do now. I've gotten to this point now where it's like every time I get paid, I have to do something for myself because I spend so much money on bills and all this other stuff. And yeah, I talk about buying weed and everything, but at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I pay too much money for all of this extra shit. Let me do something for me because I deserve it, because my mental health comes first. I need to buy something for me. If it's gonna be a Lego or a damn Black and Mild wine, I'm gonna buy something for me.
You should see how when payday comes, I be on the phone with my friend. Listen, I walk into the store because I don't claim being poor. I only say that because if we are labeling ourselves for, governmental purposes, this literally is what we equal to when we're looking at our finances and we're trying to make ends meet, especially on the wages that they do not want to raise, but they're raising our living, how much it costs to live here in Florida, in Georgia, and all these different places. It's impossible. Y'all don't want to give us more money, but here we are. But anyways, I digress. But when I do get that check, I make sure, hey, Drew, my nail guy, what we looking like on Friday? When I pull up, baby, I pull up on my music real loud like I got it. Because that's the spirit that I walk in. I make sure nails is done. I make sure hair is done. I make sure that I can fit in time to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, all while my bills are paid. Because there was a time back in the day, then bills will be coming up, and I'm like,
right,
I need to be happy for myself. I need to be happy with who I am. I'm gonna go and do that 2 for $20 at the Applebee's. And nowadays you won't find me at Applebee's, but you would not just found me. I would have been pulling up at the Applebee's and getting me for that 2 for $20 with they watered down margarita. Talking about they was $1. Remember that time they was $1 and they was watered down. There was no alcohol in that thing, but I would go over there,
$1 Long Island.
I would go get that thing with that one drop a vodka.
Dollar Long Island.
They don't even put the right. They don't even put the right liquor in there.
They send you to the hospital.
Margaritas with all kinds of different liquor. Talking about something. There you go. You drinking it like this is just a Minute Maid. This is
lemon water.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anywho,
let me get 4 more of them. Just keep them coming.
David, oh yeah, kombucha. I'm definitely drinking kombucha this morning. Every morning, baby, it gets the gut right. You know what I'm saying? It gets the inside of that baby right to get you together. Right here, kombucha.
That's what I needed.
But no, somebody in the comment section was saying we're drinking our kombucha together. I love it. I live for it. Now I'll go ahead and do the history because David's yelling at me. I hear the tone. I hear the tone. So I'll go ahead and
he's like, damn it, Black woman, come on.
Damn it, not during Black Women's History, man. Okay, so this beautiful woman is Lorraine Hansberry. So Dr. Mac dropped this on this morning for us. So we will be getting the latest updates daily for the women in history. And of course, like I said, Black women in history. So her name is Lorraine Vivian Hansberry, born in Chicago on May 19th. Oh, she a Taurus. You see, I'm born on May 15th, but born in Chicago on May 19th. 1930, Lorraine Hansberry's artistic reputation came largely on the success of her first play, A Raisin in the Sun, in 1959. Wow. When Raisin opened on this day in 1959, it marked the first time in history that a Black woman authored a play on Broadway. Raisin was about the life experiences of Blacks living in a racially segregated Chicago. The title, A Raisin in the Sun, was inspired by Langston Hughes' poem Harlem. What happens to be a dream deferred does it dry up like a raisin in the sun. As a director of Raisin, Lloyd Richards became the first Black director in modern times to direct a play on Broadway. The belief was held by whites. The belief that was held by whites was that Black plays were death at the box office. And here goes Dr. Mac's voice and writing. However, Raisin ran for 19 months. The play was so successful, it received the New York Drama Critics Circle Award in 1959, thus making this literary ivy of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc. the first Black and youngest person to win the coveted award. A Raisin in the Sun was also made into a movie starring Sidney Poitier, and as the musical Raisin, it won a Tony Award, 1974. Even today, A Raisin in the Sun is still being produced by theater companies and aired on television. Hansberry also won acclaim as an author with her book, To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, shortly after the opening of her second Broadway play, The Sign in Sidney Brunstein's Window. The young, gifted, and Black Lorraine Hansberry, rose past the sun on January 12th, 1965, in New York City at the tender age of 34. 4 years after her death, Nina Simone released a song, To Be Young, Gifted, Black, which was about her good friend, Lorraine Hansberry. For her to do so much in that time and be a part of history, A Raisin in the Sun is something big. All right. Young, Gifted, and Black is something big. Okay. We're talking about breaking barriers. Oh, in that early 34. It's beautiful to see. She's clearly was a beautiful woman. But for her to be a part of history and calling out racial segregation and calling out the issues that were happening in that time where white people were saying this is going to dry up like a raisin in the sun at the box office. And no, it didn't. It didn't. It was more powerful than what the people thought. And she did all of that in her she did all of that in her 34 years of life. 34.
That's amazing.
So you can only imagine what God can do. Come on, Langston. You're having a good old time. I would love to see that.
That's James Baldwin with Lorraine.
Yeah.
Hansberry.
So,
wow.
It looks like
that
she's
is
throwing
amazing.
It back. She's throwing it in the circle.
She looking back at it a little bit, you know. And James Baldwin he like, you know, hey.
He like, get it, sis.
Go friend.
Right. Get it. Go friend.
Best friend.
James Baldwin gave the vibes, baby. He gave the vibes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unapologetically. He said, go friend.
Best friend. I love that photo.
I love it.
That photo is amazing.
But amazing. So, you know, I love it. She and Dr. Mac, thank you. I told him this on this morning when he emailed me as I was sitting on the bed with my hands there, like that picture, just like a woman in struggle that Kim Kardashian would never understand. When he sent that over to me, I said, you know what? There's purpose. I'm being educated, and I'm honored to share these moments with you guys. Because as I'm being educated, I get the opportunity to educate you guys through the voice of Dr. Mac, through my tone, and it's beautiful. I'm happy that we get to celebrate Women's History Month and celebrate Black women during this month. So I'll see you guys later. We are at the end of the show. We're going to take it to the after party. Are we taking it to the after party?
Yeah.
Okay, we're taking it to the after party. We're gonna take it to the after party. You know, we'll do that. I'll call off of work later. We're gonna take it to the after party. I'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I love you, mean it.
See y'all later.
All right, y'all. Don't forget tonight is going down. Patron party tonight, starting at 9 p.m. until y'all know how we do it, man. Make sure that you have your face in the place. And if you need to, bring a friend. Let's have some fun. All right? We'll see y'all this evening if you're not at the patron party. And if we don't see you until Tuesday, your affirmation for the day is, I am focusing on positive thoughts and looking forward to positive results. Hey, I am focusing on positive thoughts and looking forward to positive results. Y'all go be great, man. Love y'all, mean it.